What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the best show on YouTube. Today is that day. We back out here with the podcast Sunday, dropping these knowledge nuggets for you to use. You're welcome. All right. So today, what we're going to be talking about, me and my cousin Terrence. You know the vibes. Topic for today is going to be why doing things for passion is better, or why we think doing things for passion is better than doing things for just getting money, stuff like that. All right, so we're just gonna get right into it, and we're gonna have a good conversation. All right, see you there. Okay, so we are back. Podcast Sunday. Welcome back, Terrence, to the
Yes,
podcast.
sir. Back at it again. We got a little bit better quality. I don't know if people noticed in the last video.
Yes, sir.
I got a better mic now, so we're able to.
I got a whole podcast mic for y'all.
Yeah. So
Say thank you.
We got a little bit better quality now, so hopefully we could bring that same quality content with better quality audio.
Of course. All right, so I did already say the topic, but I'm gonna say it again. So today the topic we're gonna be talking about is why we think doing things for passion is better than doing things for money or monetary gain.
Right.
So I guess I'll start off just with my personal views on the topic. So I'll start off by saying everybody knows you need money to live. So in the beginning, we're not saying don't get money.
Yeah.
I'm just putting that out there. Why I think that doing things for passion is better than just doing things to get money, because you don't really feel fulfillment. You don't have enjoyment when you're doing certain things just to get money. I do have a personal experience, but I'll get into that a little bit later. But it's just my feelings towards it is that the best job that I could say, not job, but the best thing that you could do, in my opinion, when you're like working a job, because like I said, you don't get any fulfillment, you don't get any enjoyment. I mean, you can enjoy the after effects, which is using the money and spending the money, but actually working, and earning the money, you have no enjoyment, and you're just miserable.
Right.
Well, you can be. I mean, some jobs are not too hard, and you're not too miserable, but in other instances, you could just be very miserable, and that's not good to me.
Yeah, I agree with that. We share pretty much the same sentiment when it comes to, I guess, passion versus doing things for money. I see, from my perspective, I see that when you do things for passion, you're driven, you're excited to do it. Obviously, there's always ups and downs, whether how much you're motivated, how much you're not. But overall, you're driven by the outcome. You're driven by doing the work. And when you do things for money, you're more driven by the financial gain. So let's say you work 40 hours a week. Let's say that's baseline, 40 hours a week, full time.
Yeah.
When you're working with your passion, you're working 40 hours a week, and so the majority of the week you're working and doing things for your passion.
Yeah.
You're doing things for money. The minority of your week you're doing things that you actually enjoy, and the majority of your week you're doing things that you don't like.
Yeah.
Which can lead to multiple other things. You could end up being depressed.
Yeah.
Because you have that financial gain, you still might have the extra stresses of having to go back to doing something that you really don't like. So I think definitely initially, your initial thought, especially if you're young, going into a career, going into college, or whatever the case may be, focus on understanding self-awareness and getting a grip on what you like and what drives you before thinking, let me think of something that would make me the most money, or let me think about how I can financially gain from everything I do.
Yeah.
So that's just my perspective on that in a summary, I guess.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, we're definitely see an eye to eye on this topic. We both believe the same. Um, and I find that when you're doing things for your passion, it also well, no, it's not, it doesn't also it definitely motivates you to continue doing things and to work even harder to even build up upon your different things that
Hmm.
you want to do. And it's more like I said, it's more fulfilling, but it's also like if you think about working at a job, you're just getting money to sustain yourself for that point of your life, for that point in your life.
Right, to
Um,
pay your bills or whatever.
yeah, yeah. But if you're working for your passion, this is something that your passion isn't something that goes away. It's what you want to
Hmm.
do for the rest of your life. So you're building upon the rest of your life while making money and while, doing different things to continue. Because like I said, a job is for that specific point of your life. So
Right.
if you do things for passion, then you're building upon something that you're going to be doing for the rest of your life and not just sustaining yourself for that portion of your life.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. It's a tough balance, especially when you're first starting out in anything, because you don't know, especially when you're young, what necessarily your passion is.
Hmm.
We've talked. I mean, you've talked about how back in the day you used to be interested in being a chef.
Yeah.
You thought that was your passion as a
Hmm.
16, 17-year old,
Yeah.
and came to realize recently that you were holding on to something that really wasn't
Yeah.
true to you,
Yeah.
and now you found this passion in, I guess, creating content,
Yeah.
being able to share and help other people through content, through gaming and entertainment, and
Hmm.
that's something that you find enjoyment
Yeah.
in and fulfillment in, and it's something that you're pursuing. But at the same time, you talked about how you have to make money at the
Yeah.
same time to be able to support yourself. And when
Yeah.
you're first starting off in any career, you're not going to be making money. So kind
Exactly.
of, I guess that segues into like your story about kind of your personal experience when it comes to that balance of job,
Hmm.
financial, and pursuing what you really love.
Got you. All right. So basically, what happened with me was I was in a point in my life where I needed money. I'm a
Hmm.
kid. Well, no, I was a kid, and I wanted to, be able to go out more. Go out, take some females out, do stuff like that. Um, but I didn't have money. So my dad, he runs a printing company, funeral printing
Hmm.
company. So I decided, no, I asked him if I could, because my older brother, he works there. So I asked him if I could kind of hop on board and start making money and working with him. So that's what
Okay.
I did. Um, and it was great at first. When you're young and you're making a good amount of money. Any money at all is like great. It's-
Yeah.
it-
Plus, you're working with your dad. You're working with
yeah,
people you know,
yeah, and
so it's
it's
not as
not.
it doesn't feel as
Yeah,
much work. You know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, so it's definitely is. It was comforting knowing that I'm working with my like actual family, and it's.
Mm.
I mean, and that was also a very, I would say, big downfall. Was the comfort aspect of it within like just my personal self. Um, but yeah, so I was ecstatic, making money. Work wasn't crazy. Um, but as the time just went on and on, it just got to a point where I was just so just I started to hate it because it
Yeah.
wasn't anywhere near what I wanted to do. So it
Right. And
just
how long?
became.
How
Mhm.
I guess how long? Not to cut you off. How long did it take for you to get to that point of working there?
Uh-huh.
When do you feel like the time frame of like, all right, I love it.
Mhm.
How long does that actually last? That financial like high,
Uh-huh.
and then when did you start to see that drain off and be like, all right, I really can't be here anymore?
Yeah,
Like how
so
how
I'd
long?
say more around probably because I started at 15.
Okay.
Um, and then going on to, I think around 17 was when it really hit me. And that was also what we had talked about before. Remember I told you like the turning point for me in the other conversation we had off camera.
Yeah. Right, right,
So it
right.
was kind of me just like reassessing my whole life. Um,
Hmm.
and I just started to realize how much I just did not like being there. I mean, I love working
Yeah.
with my dad. I love working with my brothers. I love the whole environment of the office, but just the the type of work that I was doing, it was like I said, it wasn't crazy hard, and I definitely
Hmm.
could get it done pretty easily. There was always, of course, some busy days, but it just was like so far away from what I enjoyed that it just became
Hmm.
something that I started to hate. And even
Right.
and even like I work my friend, he works there now, and I was working with him for quite a while, probably about a month or well, no, not quite a while, but yeah, like a month or two.
Okay.
So he had just started working there, and then he even tells me like my whole demeanor is just different when
Hmm.
I'm there, and then when I leave, it's just like goes from 0 to 1,000 because I'm just so
Right.
happy to be out of. Like I said, it's not like I love working with my dad, love working with everybody there, love working with my friend, but just the
Yeah.
type of work that is just so far from what I enjoy doing. It just takes a
Hmm.
toll on you mentally, physically. Like I was
Yeah.
like always tired. I could barely keep my
Yeah.
eyes open. Um,
Now I remember when we were like, I mean, before you kind of
mhm,
made the switch, and I guess you could start talking about that next.
mhm.
But yeah, I remember when you would we would play like or record these podcasts later in the day or like play later in the day.
Yeah,
Um, you'd always like be exhausted because you literally would start at like 8 a.m. and then
yeah,
work all day,
yeah,
and then go to the gym and then do whatever and then get home. It's like 11 o'clock and you're like, all right, got to do it all again tomorrow.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it was like I said, it's not hard work, but it's just that's why.
It's definitely
Yeah,
mentally, yeah, it's
yeah. No,
mentally
it's
draining,
definitely
man.
mentally draining. Um, but like I said, you can be in the best environment, but if it's not something that's in tune or at least somewhere close to what you like doing, then it's going to be that way for you. That's my
Right.
opinion. Um,
Yeah, I think
mhm,
it's kind of like somebody handing you money,
mhm.
but you're they hand it to you in a different currency that you can't actually use.
Yeah,
So, or like you're in like a space, but you're in the best space possible, but you're really blind,
yeah,
and you can't even maximize or visualize the opportunity that's in front of you in this great environment
yeah.
just because it's just not what you want to do. So you're not able to actually dive into it and maximize where you are because it's just you're just not
Hmm.
happy.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so yeah, no, I definitely relate to that. But yeah, in that was my whole mindset going into. So I was there for about 2 years before I started to just realize how much I just did not like the job that I was working.
Mm.
So then going into the different things that I like switched around to kind of, and this switch is recent, like last week
Yeah,
type recent. So
yeah. Still
it's yeah,
figuring it
yeah,
out.
yeah, still figuring it out. Um, so what I believe I started the gaming channel around May. So I realized that in order for me to be able to do consistent uploads, be able to do what I need to do on the channel and actually make it grow, that I would have to have more time to be able to do the videos and edit. Because like Terrence said, I'd be
Right.
there from I'd start at 10, but then I wouldn't get back until probably around on a good day 9, because I go to the gym right after. So then I would be
Right.
tired at work, and then I'd be tired coming home. So it was just not a good vibe, because I even noticed in my
Yeah.
videos just how tired I looked. So I didn't even like the content that I was putting out just based on my whole facial expressions and just the energy that I was
Hmm.
outputting in the video. And that's not the energy
Yeah.
that I wanted to output. So then I was just demotivated to even create more. because that was just so far from the energy that I was attempting to give out to other people. Because I know
Yeah.
I wouldn't be attracted to that energy. So then I realized all this stuff. So then I decided that it was time to um, do a shift, do a change, because I knew it was
Yeah.
necessary so that I could start working in the passion that I wanted to. So then I met with my dad, and my dad, he's always pushing us to do what we want. He never wants us to, like, he was never forcing me to be there. He always asked me or just he wanted to figure out the best route for me personally on what,
Hmm.
no matter what money, nothing like that. He was fine with paying me, fine with all that stuff. Um, but he wants all of us to just be able to go and do our passions and just be successful. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, so he was always flexible with that. Um, so then I had a talk with him, um, and we kind of just figured out a schedule where I could do some of the work at home, and then I'd be able to still make money, but it would be based off like a job by job basis. So
Yeah.
it wouldn't necessarily be
So
that I have
basically,
to.
you wouldn't.
Uh huh.
Yeah. So basically, you just wouldn't be in the office all day wasting your time.
Yeah, yeah. So it's great for me because I can do the stuff at home, and I can also do my videos at home. But I wouldn't be able to do my videos at the office. But now I can do my videos at home. I can do my work at home. But that also makes my pay fluctuate a lot more, just based off because
Yeah.
it's based off job by job, and who knows how many jobs come in a week and stuff like that. So I would say my mental state right now is that I'm just so much happier, and I'm not as tired. I'm more
Yeah.
motivated to just grow and build my channel. Um, and this has only been what, 2 weeks, and it's just like
Right.
even like I call my friend up that still works there, and he hears the different energy in my voice because I'm not in that environment where I just started to hate, and it just was like it was a negative
Yeah.
thing, even though I was around great people doing great work, but it was just the feeling and energy that I got from doing the things that I wasn't enjoying. Then it became
Mm.
just a whole negative for me. But yeah, so
Yeah.
even
I think that's important. I mean, your mental state is now going to allow you to have a fresh mind when it comes to creating this content,
yeah,
putting everything out.
yeah,
And that's just strictly from you adjusting and saying, hey, this is what I really want to do.
hmm
Yeah, the financial stuff is fine.
hmm
I might not be able to eat out as much or go out as much
yeah,
or whatever the case may be, but I'm filling my bucket up
hmm
with happiness instead of filling it up with money
yeah,
to build that happiness. So I think that's huge.
hmm
And you're in a situation where you're fortunate. And a lot of kids are that may be listening to this.
yeah,
A lot of kids are in a position where they don't necessarily need to work
hmm
unless you're, helping your parents pay the bills or you have to pay for your cell phone or your car or whatever the case may be. You don't necessarily you're in a position where you have to realize that if you don't need to work full time
hmm
to get by
yeah,
as a kid, and don't work full time and spend half that other time, empty that time out for your passion. But
yeah,
that means you actually have to put in the work now.
yeah,
You
yeah,
can't just say, "Hey, I'm gonna cut that back my hours, make less money,
yeah,
follow my passion," and then not actually put in the work.
yeah,
Like we're seeing Zeph, now try to post 3 times a week,
yeah,
putting in the work to get closer to his goals. Obviously, he's just starting out, so things are he's still learning.
yeah,
But the effort is there, and as he gets adjusted into this new schedule,
hmm
he'll be able to fine tune things.
yeah,
We were talking off camera too about just like having to adjust from when you're working at home. You have to like treat your passion now as like a full-time work schedule.
yeah,
So if you were working from 10 to 6, now you have to be like, all right, I'm working on my passion from 10 to 6,
yeah,
or 8 to 6,
yeah,
or 8 to 8.
But you're having a lot
when
more
you're not
fun
at
doing
work.
it. Yeah,
Right,
that's the difference.
exactly. And it doesn't feel like you're working those long hours. You're literally just enjoying yourself and saying, all right, how can I do this? How can I do this?
Yeah.
You know, you're making it, but that fire, similar to the fire of money,
Hmm.
can only last so long. So like, let's say, like you talked about how you lasted 2 years there, but I'm sure by the first 6 months, 6 months to a year, you were ecstatic.
Yeah.
Even the same thing with this. Like the first 6 months, you might be ecstatic,
Yeah.
and then it's gonna fizzle down. It's gonna be like, all right, this is cool and all, but if you don't get organized and get on top of it,
Yeah.
and start kind of like referring back to our planning talk before, like if you don't plan,
Yeah.
then you're just gonna be like, you're gonna start slacking off, and instead of starting at 10, you're gonna start at 12.
Yeah.
You're gonna start at 1.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna start putting it off and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
uh,
So you have to make sure you're
it's just like
organized.
yeah, it's just matching that discipline that you had, like as if somebody's forcing you to put this stuff out on time, or else you're gonna get like, you know, lose your job.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that's the mentality you have to have when pursuing your passion. The same mentality you had when you were afraid that your boss was gonna fire you because you were showing up late to work.
Uh-huh.
It's the same mentality you gotta have when you hold yourself accountable.
Yeah.
Uh,
Because I mean, working with working in your passion, you're the only person that's going to hold yourself accountable. That's I mean, that's a good and a bad thing, because if you're not the type of person that will get on yourself, you have to become that type of person if you want to pursue this route.
Right. Yeah. I guess I could give a little bit of my perspective on.
Go ahead.
I mean, you talked a lot about your personal experience, and I think that's an important thing for a lot of people to see, just like how you can assess your passion and just make a decision, a life decision, and say, this is what I want to do, and cut back on other things and make adjustments to be able to do that thing. So I think that's huge. For me, one thing, how I perceive a lot of this stuff is when I was in college, and I decided to pursue medical school and all that good stuff. I find that I was successful in my pursuit because I told myself I'm not doing anything I don't like. So they give you a large checklist of different things you have to do, volunteer and do research and shadow a doctor and do all these different things to get your application ready to look good for medical schools when you're applying. And I told myself going into it, I'm not going to do anything I don't like. I'm just going to find things I enjoy and make the most of those things, because I hated doing things that I didn't like. I worked at a supermarket job. I hated it, and I ended up leaving for something I enjoyed, which was personal training as a job. And although it was harder, and I had to wake up at 6 a.m. at sometimes, or 5 a.m. to get to train people at 6 a.m. And like it was a grind. I had to, I was more driven because it was like I got to the gym and I knew I was helping somebody better their life, and it was more fulfilling. But all that to say, when everything I did that I enjoyed and I loved, it showed through my efforts, and my advisors and the people running the organizations I was volunteering for, and the people that were running the labs that I was working in, they took notice, and they were able to write excellent letters of recommendation for me going forward. And those type of things really, I feel, help me pursue my ultimate goal, and just building those connections, because you're building connection through something you enjoy, and your passion and your love for that really shows and shines bright when you are in something that you are passionate about, versus just something that you're doing for the obligation. Because there's a lot of people that are doing the same things that I'm doing, but they're doing it for the obligation. So you could see it on their face, kind of like what you were saying with your friend, saying that he sees that you're not as happy or you're not as fulfilled. I could see that on other people's face that are just doing it for the hours, or just doing it because they just want to get a quick letter of recommendation, and their efforts don't match others that are doing it for passion.
Okay, so definitely. I mean, so as y'all can see, we all have different things and different ways on how to get to the transition of working into your passion. I mean, it's gonna be harder for some people. It's gonna be easier for some people, because like he said before, some of you guys are kids. You can just start doing your stuff right now. You don't necessarily have to work. I mean, unless you want money. but you're a kid, so you don't have to pay bills, you don't have to do none of that stuff. Or you could be somebody that's older and you're in a job already and it's just hard to transition, but you just have to find your own way. Like, we can't tell you a clear-cut way of how to make your transition. You just have to think about what's best for you and work on, little by little, making that transition, or just start on doing something that you enjoy. Maybe for like an hour of the day, just do something that you enjoy.
Right.
And then just once you get to a point where you feel like you're sustained and you can keep yourself going, and, you know, pay your bills and stuff like that, then you make the full transition and just go into that.
Yeah, and then if you have that passion and you work, that money
Yeah.
will come and supersede what you
Yeah,
were doing before.
and you will have a great
And,
time
you
doing
know,
it.
this is-
So it's not mentally taxing.
Yeah.
It's not physically taxing. I mean, it can be physically taxing, but it's not mentally taxing, and you're just having a good time.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, this is like a 30-minute podcast or a little bit less, but obviously we try to touch on these subjects and give a decent amount of information. But if you have any other questions, always reach out to Zeph.
Yeah, in the comments, hit them up.
And ask him. Yeah, hit him in the comments, and you can speak on those more specific cases, or send him an email or something. You can speak on more specific cases if you feel like you need direct help. I feel like it's important to have that open line, because yeah, it's more than just like putting out this information. It's being able to help people that actually may need it.
I mean, we are young, but we have knowledge. So don't underestimate the knowledge of a young person. Because we are the trailblazers of the new era or whatever. I don't know. But yes, appreciate you as always, Terrence, for hopping on the podcast.
Yes, sir.
Definitely going to be doing more of these. Also, if you guys have topics, as I said in my previous video, I know I don't be getting comments right now, but this is for my future millions of subscribers. If y'all got topics, put it in the comments, and we can talk on that. I'll be looking at all comments. So if you got a topic that you want us to discuss, drop that in the comments. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.